At NextBeam, we follow the North American sterilization market. We comment on market trends, news, and other factors in the spirit of tracking the changes that we see happening every day in the marketplace and sharing them with our customers, partners, and the interested public. I'm Andrew Patton, founder and CEO of NextBeam, and let's get into this quick quarterly update. At NextBeam, we seek to offer fast, efficient, and reliable irradiation services. We combine speed, scale, and deep technical expertise to deliver a superior service in the marketplace. So when we talk about speed, we're talking about going from validation of new products to routine processing in weeks, not months, unlike typical EO facilities. We offer 5 business day target turn times, and expedite options are available. We do this all out of our current facility number 1, which is a very high volume, cost efficient, very sustainable E-beam sterilization facility that we constructed in the Midwest, specifically in the Sioux City area. We are built around a very reliable, state-of-the-art 10 MeV, million electron volt linear accelerator, and we are either accredited, registered, or audited to the highest global standards by some of the bodies that you can see on this slide. So onto our update. We haven't published or written on EO lawsuits externally in some number of months, but we of course do track them month to month. Probably the largest settlement that we are aware of since we last wrote is this $20 million settlement in Georgia against a former CR BARD facility. That adds to the other settlements or verdict payments announced to date, bringing our total just of announced payouts to $874 million. We think the amount spent by defendants in legal fees is at least $100 million, if not closer to probably $200 million. Additionally, we layer the $300 million of estimated costs that the EPA projected for compliance with their latest set of regulations some years ago. Easily get to $1 billion in total cost that must be absorbed by the EO industry and effectively its customers over time. So needless to say, we expect EO to only increase in price. Recently, we also saw this article in Bone Zone, which is a orthopedic industry magazine, titled "Trump Gifted You 2 Years to Find EO Alternatives." Now, politics aside, we think this is the right message. It's time to replace EO. And while it won't happen fast, there are mature modalities like E-beam and X-ray that can take much of the load today, especially in an industry like orthopedics. Of course, there are alternative gas modalities like vaporized hydrogen peroxide, chlorine dioxide, and others that we think will help play a role as well, but they are not nearly as mature as radiation is today. However, we look forward to the day when they will eventually be matured and added as established Category A modalities, hopefully by the FDA. At the same time, looking back on the last quarter from what we call big sterilization, namely Steris and Sterigenics, we've seen some impressive earnings growth, so congratulations to them. Both competitors were up double digits year over year, so 2025 calendar year Q2 over 2024 calendar Q2. Additionally, we saw we hear through our grapevine, I suppose, that some of our larger customers are reporting price increases above historically low gamma costs and some progression on pricing there. But what really stood out to us was when you add these two, the revenue lines of Steris AST and Sterigenics together, what you see is a pretty considerable jump from Q1 of this year into Q2. We're not exactly sure what's driving that, but it is considerable. And normally these things grow at about somewhere between 1% and 2%. Quarter by quarter. This nearly 8% jump is sizable, of course. So one of the quick comments that we make is, of course, that there's no such thing as 8% of new capacity emerging. So most of this growth we would feel confident in saying is driven by price increases rather than increased capacity. So something to think about. So what are the takeaways from this quick update? Well, again, EO pricing, we believe, will only increase, if not accelerate, if you're not seeing that already as a customer. So the impact to litigation to EO is not going away. I think very clearly there are a number of firms that are seeking new plaintiffs to join mass or class action lawsuits. The cost of defending against these lawsuits is considerable, and these are reasons why EO pricing will only increase going forward. The good news is that we believe most medical devices can be converted from EO into radiation with appropriate testing and engineering support. And there is also increasingly good news in terms of radiation-compatible high-lubricity surface coatings and other such things for folks that do have radiation-sensitive materials in their devices, but are looking to get out of EO and into irradiation. Big Sterilization, again, is healthy, and its price increase season once again, typically in October of each year. So we believe that the sterilization, even though the Big Sterilization is really great and impressive at posting almost metronomic revenue growth quarter to quarter, we do believe it has been in a somewhat depressed and low growth mode since the major supply chain excursions that we saw after the pandemic, and the effect of destocking, of course, seems to be well complete at this point. So with the tremendous Q2 that Big Sterilization had, it's going to be really interesting to see if they can follow that up continuing in the year, or if that was a blip on their growth curve. And finally, a bit of unsolicited advice, whether you're our customer or not, or especially if you're an EO customer today. We humbly suggest doing some preliminary work as to whether your products could be compatible with E-beam or X-ray. We certainly at NextBeam offer expert consultation for free and pretty much on your timeline within a few days to schedule. Typically, we're able in a consultation to give you a very high probability answer of whether your product will work as currently existing or not, where the challenges would be, and what you might consider doing about some of these challenges if they exist. And of course, feasibility testing, we do everything in our power to make it very quick and inexpensive. Typically, we quote 2 weeks and less than $2,000 to get some feasibility runs done. So we're always happy to help with folks who want to make the transition out of EO and into sustainable modalities like E-beam, and stand ready to assist you when you're ready to talk about that. So thanks for listening to our quarterly update. We'll catch you next quarter.